Welcome, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. It is the 3rd of January, 2022. Happy New Year. Producer James in the building. West Washington on his way. You know, he's coming in from the airport at that DF Dub, so who knows what kind of excursion he's been on. But Producer James in the building. How you feeling, sir?
Feeling good.
How was your Happy New Year?
It was good. It was great.
Did you kill it on the grill?
Killed it. Made some barbecue chicken.
All right, Shaq.
Made some menudo, and I made some shrimp as well.
Man, I was able to get my hands on some menudo. I was a little scared I wasn't going to be able to get any, but I was able to get some as well. So definitely festive. Any buñuelos in there?
No.
Nah, for the people out there, y'all better learn because they're good.
Yeah.
We were able to get some. So definitely tasty to kind of bring in the new year. I hope everybody had a great time, enjoyed your new year with the family, with the friends. Hope you were safe. Hope nothing crazy happened to you. But it's football time. We're coming down to the end for the NFL season. It's been a magical run, I think, for a lot of teams. Tears and jeers for the Cowboy faithful, and the Packers have to be riveting right now as the number one team, locking up the number one seed. The NFC goes through the frozen tundra. That was one of the signs that I saw last night. Did you know? Let's get into the Packers a little bit. We'll talk more Cowboys when West gets on the horn. Not that horn, just so we're clear. But when West gets on the microphone, did you know that Christian Kirk was not playing last night? Because I had no clue. It was one of those like late COVID scratches.
Yeah.
So some Madison is some guy came in. The guy only knows who he was. If you watch the whole game, you got to see a little bit of the Texas A&M product and Kellen Moore, who they drafted in the later rounds. I don't want to give the wrong round per se, but Kellen Moore didn't look any better than Madison. So Packers rolled it up early, man. It was kind of put away. The running game was all on point. The defense looked fantastic with that backup quarterback. I told you this today. I said it last night in the group chat. They look destined. Is that the way you're seeing things right now? Aaron looks ready to capture that back-to-back MVP.
I want to be careful because the last two seasons I feel like we look destined.
They look better than the last 2 years.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
From your point of view, someone who's going to be a little bit more critical than I would.
How many times does an NFL franchise like this get, these, we're coming off back-to-back NFC championship losses.
One more stat, if you don't know, the only quarterback to have 3 consecutive back-to-back 13-win seasons, Aaron Rodgers. First 3 years in Matt LaFleur's offense. Pretty big change from Mike McCarthy, right? Cowboy fans, are y'all listening? Big change from Mike McCarthy. What is the outlook going into the playoffs for you? Here's another thing. Aaron Rodgers, Bakhtiari, Jair Alexander, the Williams brothers, the offensive line, maybe even Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, you get 2 weeks off now. You get next week off against the Lions, and you get the bye week. That's a hell of a run now to go into the playoffs fully healthy. Cobb could be back.
Yeah.
It's got to be a scary outlook, because what if you catch a really sneaky team slipping? What if the Packers catch them slipping? Are you concerned, or you're just like, let's just go out and see what happens?
Is it a given already that you would rest next week?
There's nothing. If you play, there's nothing to gain.
Because you don't want to come out your first game in the playoff rusty, if you believe in that sort of thing, right?
That's true, but your first game wouldn't be until the divisional round.
Because we know how we came out in the first game of the season, looking rusty as hell against Jameis Winston.
Yeah, but that was a different kind of New Orleans team, right? That's a different team. Granted, Michael Thomas wasn't there, but Alvin Kamara looked great. Callaway looked good. I just don't know now. You have an injured Rodgers. His left foot toe is broken. Bakhtiari is going to be coming back. He should be full strength. Jair Alexander coming back from injury. Cobb coming back from injury. It makes sense to not play these guys. Maybe a quarter, but then on the flip side, what if somebody gets hurt in that quarter?
No.
For me, nothing Aaron's going to do is going to change if he plays week 18 or not. Same thing for Adams. Same thing for Jones. Nothing is going to change. They know the offense well enough to where they can execute. My only thing is, do you really want 2 weeks? Now you're gonna game prep and you're gonna practice, you're gonna go through routine, but the game speed. The other thing too is you're comfortable. You're at home. You're not traveling. You're not gonna do anything out of the ordinary. It's gonna be a regular week going into pretty much week 20 after in the divisional round for the playoffs. So does that bother you having 2 weeks off as a fan, or because you have a veteran lead team, you're comfortable? Like, or are you have mixed feelings about it?
Yeah, I do have mixed because, like I said, you don't want them to come in rusty. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks off is, I mean, it could be a big deal, but it's also much needed for a team who has been banged up a lot this season, and with Rodgers and looking like he re-aggravated that toe. Was it last week against the Browns, right?
When Myles Garrett stepped on him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I trust Matt LaFleur and his decision-making abilities, with the team and who gets the rest and all that. A.J. Dillon coming into his own as a Green Bay superstar.
Man, it's almost going from Aaron Jones all-purpose back to running back by committee, just due to the fact of how dominant A.J. Dillon is.
Yeah.
It's almost like A.J. Dillon is a number one running back on any other team, but solely because he is on the Packers and he was barely drafted last year in the second round, he's going to play second fiddle. Yeah. Yes, Mingo, I was concerned that they were going to be, I was going to jinx them, which I'm not trying to jinx them, but I knew that was out there. I was going to see if anybody would notice it.
If we believe in jinxes on the show, Wes jinxed the Cowboys last week.
That's kind of something that I had told him about. Like, you may not want to do that. Shout out to Carly in the mix. Shout out to that big win by the Chicago Bears this past weekend. Robert Quinn passing the previous sack record for the Chicago Bears. Shout out to Robert Quinn as well. Anything else you want to kind of talk about the Packers before we can move on to the AFC? What's your concern?
I mean, just maybe the run game, but how Cleveland just ran through. They ran through our defense, and I feel like they would have won had they have continued to run the ball. Other than that, man, Rodgers to Devontae Adams, that connection looks unstoppable. And they were talking about, how Devontae Adams, he sees the ball and he waits till the last second to even put up his hands to catch the ball, just to not give the defender any sort of, what do you call it?
Advantage?
Yeah,
tip?
Advantage that the ball's coming that way,
right.
And it's literally at the last second. The ball's there and it's like, whoop. And Rodgers is dropping them in on the money.
They were talking about this past weekend on a couple of shows. The best chemistry between a quarterback and a receiver, and everybody kind of put hands down. It's easy to say Rodgers and Devontae, but the other two names they brought up have a connection that goes back to college at LSU, and that's Burrow with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase looks like Devontae Adams 2.0.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
He can just wherever he wants to go, as long as he's not double covered. Same thing with Devontae Adams. If Jamar Chase is not double covered, he's not covered. And Joe Burrow seems to just, like he said in the press conference, he's like, fuck it. Jamar's over there somewhere. Let me just throw it up. And he just instantly goes to get the ball. Cincinnati having that big victory over yesterday in a shootout with Kansas City at home to lock up the AFC North, which I thought Cleveland would have done this year, but apparently Cincinnati just said, we're going to take care of business on our own. One takeaway from week 17 that I had personally was we don't know who anybody is, and that's pretty much been the theme the entire year. You had teams like Arizona get dog walked by the Detroit Lions, and then you have them going a 3-game skid, and now you have them going to Dallas. And due to Dallas's ineptitude and everything that I've outlined for them to lose games is what happened that time, and we'll talk about that when Wes gets back on the line. But then you have other teams who are doing the same kind of nonsense. You're having the Chargers lose to the Houston Texans. Now the Houston Texans are going to end the year facing off the now number one team in the Tennessee Titans. The AFC picture is it's kind of just weird because you had a team in Tennessee who was a number 2 seed. The loss by Kansas City puts them as the number 1 seed. And now if they can beat Houston, which now we don't know if that's going to be a given just because of how well Houston can surprise you. Because if Houston plays on point, they're going to give you an L. And so I'm kind of thinking to myself, the Tennessee Titans can lock up home field advantage. The AFC will go through Tennessee if they beat Houston. But it's like it's not given. And so we have to ask ourselves, who is the team we trust the most in the AFC? My answer is Cincinnati. They can go on the road. They have a high-powered offense. Their defense is a little suspect, but they play in conditions to where that can translate to any weather. I'm sorry, any environment. And they have probably the second best chemistry between quarterback and receiver in the NFL outside of Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers with the Packers. And I say for me, the only team I trust the best in the AFC is Cincinnati because there's no consistency with any other teams. For you, who is the team in the AFC that you think you put the most trust in right now? Because Kansas City was losing to some dumb teams. Tennessee was losing to some dumb teams. And Cincinnati is the only team that I see that they lost to teams that were good. They didn't lose to teams that were awful.
Yeah. Yeah, coming off of Joe Burrow, the injury, right? Was it last season?
And he got hurt again in this past game.
Yeah, I'm a major fan of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And then so I took my lunch break on Sunday, and I go home and I put on it was the Kansas City and the Cincinnati game. Mm-hmm. And I forgot what the other one was on Fox. It was the Rams and it was the Rams and somebody. And I was like, I think I'm going to watch the Cincinnati one. Dude, Joe Burrow tossed it like a simple route to Jamar Chase, and he just took off for a 72-yard touchdown. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, you see these plays, and you know, we watch football, you know, countless amounts of games, and you see it's like, oh, okay, you're going to catch the ball and get tackled. And no, he just takes off, and he's just so fast. And I was like, wow. I was like, wow, dude. Like, this dude is so fast. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I'm rooting for them to get as far as they can, but, you know, I mean, whoever, you got to meet the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but that's not going to be to the Super Bowl, and that's going to be in L.A.
Yeah,
I'm not saying the Packers are going, but Kansas City, they don't have your trust.
I mean, you're gonna. I mean, I don't know, man. It depends on who shows up. You know, like what team shows up. You know what I'm saying? Just like how in the NFC, like it's like you have Arizona. They were on a skid for so long, losing to the top teams,
right?
And then they come and they beat Dallas, who's the number 2 team was the number 2 team in the NFC. And I told y'all last week I thought that Dallas was gonna roll over the Cardinals. I don't know, man.
We'll talk. I know everybody's like, well, when you're gonna talk about that Cowboys bag. Mingo's talking about the Ravens. Shout out Mingo. I don't know about the Ravens. Lamar is not healthy. Brent Huntley is, you know, hit or miss. They don't even have a receiver one. I mean, and they've been devastated by injury ever since the beginning of the season. I guess for me, Lamar Jackson can really give you a shot in the playoffs. But should we consider Lamar? I mean, outside of his injury, he wasn't making a run for an MVP candidate this year until he got injured. So that's another name out there. Zach Wilson decided to start playing football for the Jets. Nearly took out Tom Brady. I didn't think Tom was going to come back. Did you? Really, honestly, he played like shit the whole game.
I didn't get to see the game. Only thing I saw from the game was because of the
Antonio Brown
notification that I got was that he had exited the game early.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
He's obviously done with the Bucks. He's obviously done there.
Do you think he's done with just the Bucks, or do you think his career is done?
I think his career is over.
You think so?
It's unfortunate that it was, but for me, I think I have a pretty good understanding of how Antonio Brown works. I think Antonio Brown has the mindset where he's not going to do anything unless there's a bag associated with it. So I'm wondering if his farewell was a farewell to the NFL because he knows he has a big contract somewhere else coming, like the XFL, the USFL, or maybe some social media company said, wouldn't it be great if we paid you, I don't know, this is a speculation, $10 million to have a public farewell in your game against, such and such. Like, it may have been out there, like, pending. It was like, if you do X, we'll pay you Y. Like, he knew it in the back of his mind. The other half of the point is the reason he did it was because there was incentives on the line and he was held out of the game so that he wouldn't achieve these incentives because of whatever kind of nonsense that was going on internally with the Bucs. Are you aware of those incentives?
Yeah.
So he had a certain amount of catches to get 333,000, couple of receiving yards, a few touchdowns.
He was almost there, wasn't he?
He was very close. I believe the yards and I believe the catches, he could have easily made the 333,000 per the catches category and the yards category.
How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about what?
Like, I mean, potentially holding out, taking money away from a player.
Why did you provide a fake vaccination card?
Okay.
Why did you wait so long to come back from injury? So you want to play games? Okay, we can play games. That's the thing about it is, unless you know about what's going on internally, and I'm not saying I'm an insider. What I'm saying is that I'm aware of what happened, and now the team is like, I'm sure the general manager is talking to Bruce Arians say, fuck Antonio. He fucked us. He didn't want to come back when he was fully healthy. He wanted to provide a bullshit vaccination card, which he could potentially see criminal charges from, federal criminal charges from. I'm not saying he will. I said potentially. Why are we going to allow him to go make money from his ability on the field when he can't even be on the field when we need him to be? And we're having to struggle because we have Godwin out. Let's go let these young receivers who are cheaper to go do the same thing AB can do, and AB can just be on the sideline. Is it unfair? Sure, if you don't know the whole story. But once you hear the whole story, you're like, oh, so Antonio wasn't taking care of business when he should have been. Now it makes sense for him to have this, crybaby fit. But, I mean, he had it. But I do believe that he's going to make a lot of money from his public tantrum or his public farewell, what have you. Because I believe just in Pittsburgh, when he went on Facebook Live, I'm sure Facebook said, if you do this in the locker room, we'll give you X amount of dollars. And I'm pretty sure another company said, if you do something in public on the field and have a public display, we'll pay you XYZ. So I don't believe Antonio Bryant does anything without knowing he's getting paid for it.
Yeah.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it could have been a whole lot worse than what it was. Like he kind of he took his stuff off, threw a couple of souvenirs in the stands for the Jets fans, and, chunk deuce and kind of went off, Well, he could have been like doing bat flips and like shooting the bird and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have been.
Like AJ Hawk. I mean, like AJ Hawk. I'm just saying. Right?
How dare you?
I mean, you know the facts. You know what it is.
I do.
You know the business. But at the same, and I love AJ. Don't get me wrong. I think AJ's a fantastic player.
He went on to go and pursue some other things.
Well, he's a legend. Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. AJ's he's a man.
I have his jersey hanging up in my closet right now.
Mira que chulo.
One of two. The other one.
AJ, you hear that? He's inviting you onto the show. But at the same time, you kind of ask yourself. It may not have been that bad, but the internet doesn't lose. Yeah. And the internet turned his little event into a meme catalog. Not to mention somebody capturing a photo of him like waiting for his Uber. Apparently he couldn't get an Uber because where he was at, like he had to get a police officer to help him get him an Uber. So somebody snapped a quick photo and said, AB waiting on his Uber. Yeah. It's like, come on, bro. You didn't have this like set up ready to go.
I heard a driver picked him up from the MetLife Stadium.
Yeah.
And made a little like promo out of it.
No shit.
I saw on Twitter. Yeah. I can try and pull that up during the break.
Well, apparently he was doing cameos in his Uber also.
It's AB. What's he gonna do?
And making money. That's what I'm saying. He's like, I can make $300 for a 15-second video.
Yeah. Hey, you think? What are your chances that Oscar De La Hoya hit him up, or not Oscar De La Hoya, but somebody? Okay, I was just trying to go in the thing, but I forgot Jake Paul was and Oscar De La Hoya are cut, ties. But I saw floating around Jake Paul versus Antonio Brown.
I mean, what am I supposed to think? Like, what do I think? I don't think anything. Why would I give that any energy? Why would I give? True. I mean, to me, it's a crowdsourcing event. That's all that. It's like, we want to watch these two guys fight. Why? So someone can get paid $5 million to take a dive? Yeah, we already saw that with Tyron Woodley.
True.
Why do I want to see that again?
Thank you for pulling my head out of my ass.
I mean, I'm just kind of putting it where it is. Now, if you're telling me Antonio Bryant will fight like Frank Gore or Antonio Bryant will fight Pac-Man Jones, now I'm interested.
What about Mike Tomlin?
Nah, Mike Tomlin put them old man strength on him. I mean, maybe I'm just saying, like, AB's a hell of an athlete, but Mike Tomlin might catch him slipping a little bit. Don't think Mike Tomlin ain't no punk, man. Mike Tomlin is a dude.
I don't know. He stick his leg out and trip a motherfucker.
He don't give a shit if you're a referee or not. He don't care. He's trying to get that dub.
For sure.
All right, guys, let's get into a quick break, 40 minutes after the hour. When we come back, we may talk a little bit more about some college football going on in the mix. But when West returns, which he will return, appreciate y'all staying with us. We'll get into that Cowboys bag a little bit more. Also, shout out to the Raiders. I want to give a quick shout out real quick. Shout out to the Raiders, the Bears, the Bills, the Eagles, and the Seahawks. 50 burger. 51-29 over the Lions.
How did the Eagles make the playoffs?
Because Dallas lost and the Raven and Arizona won. That's why.
They just let them on in, huh?
That's what's going to be the first round. It's going to be Philly. It's what's going to be like this coming weekend. Dallas, Philly, and then the weekend after that, it's going to be Dallas, Philly again. That's what it's going to be. Dallas better hope they're not slipping. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show, the 3rd of January, 2022. Let's jump into that college football bag semifinals over the weekend. Did you get to catch anything, James, on Friday?
I did not.
No? You didn't really miss much because, Alabama, Georgia. So what'd you catch?
I'm sorry, I'm lying. I did see Tennessee and Purdue, was it?
Okay, so you caught the early game?
I caught the Tennessee kind of, I don't know. It looked like a touchdown to me. They called it a non-touchdown.
It looked like a touchdown to me,
It looked like a touchdown because he wasn't down.
Right.
He was over the body of another athlete.
He was on top of somebody.
Yeah, and so I didn't see a knee. I didn't see a butt. I didn't see an elbow. I saw the ball crossing the plane.
Right.
But I didn't see any other body part. And that was all the fuss on Friday night, I believe it was. Might have been Saturday night. But, other than that, I really didn't see a whole lot.
Yeah, the college football semifinals was uneventful. I think a lot of people felt like Michigan would have done a whole lot better versus Georgia, but I don't know. I guess for anybody who was really kind of paying attention the whole year, Michigan had a really tough game against Michigan State, took a L. They dominated Ohio State. I think that's what gave a lot of people pause, was that maybe Michigan could do something because of how well they dominated Ohio State. But it didn't translate against Georgia. It's just something different about the SEC football teams where the majority of NFL players are kind of plucked from coming out of the SEC. And it really just it just made me think, it's like, wouldn't it make sense for the college football committee to expand the playoffs if we know after 2 games it's going to be an all SEC like championship game? Wouldn't it make more sense to have maybe a top 24 playoff, so where the top 24 teams can get put into a bracket and maybe like the first, 10 teams get a bye, and then the other teams have a playoff game to get in, and then each game after that is like a major bowl, and then you finally have your championship. Will it probably be two SEC teams? It sure as hell may, but at the same time, it's like, wouldn't it be more fun, generate more revenue, be more inviting if like you can follow a team similar to how people follow the Cinderella team in the NCAA, men's tournament to go win a potentially Sweet 16 round or Elite 8 round? It just seems like if people weren't, and I'm going to say this, I don't care. It sure seems that there's too many people making too much money off of this for this to be the inhibitant. It shouldn't be that we have to pay so many people that not enough people those people are going to make less money if we have more playoff games. It just doesn't, to me, make sense that way. That tells me the NCAA really doesn't run anything as far as oversight goes, but at the same time, like, there would need to be one league who could implement a playoff structure that size, because right now when you have individual leagues, it's going to be hard for those individual leagues to agree on TV money, and that's going to be the holdup right there.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking too, also, like, I mean, do you think that the NCAA, do you think that they're headed in that direction, or do you think that they're just like kind of standstill? Because I was kind of surprised as with them doing the college playoff that they have now, just because it's a different from the BCS, which was a shit show,
right?
And I mean, it only seems fair. Like, let's take the top. What do they have now? The top 10 teams?
Top 4.
Top 4. Oh, okay.
That's why it's always a big. That's why it's always a big to do whenever that list comes out on Tuesday.
Let's jump to 10, and then maybe one day we'll jump to 20.
So here's the dirty little secret: if you don't know, the NCAA has no control over college football. None. They don't get any money. They don't have any control. They don't have any authority. The only authority they have is the rules in which the student athletes have to participate. That's the only thing they do. But the leagues control the college football landscape. The leagues will go and set the schedules with the schools. The leagues will control the money.
And by the leagues, you mean the
SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, the Pac-12, the Big 12. I'm sorry, the Big 10, excuse me. Yeah. There's more than 10 teams. But, yeah, they're the ones who control everything. Now, each league will. This happened. We really saw this during COVID. Remember how like the Big Ten was not going to play, and then Ohio State's were like, "Well, we want to." Justin Fields led the coalition for the Big Ten to go make the statement. Well, pretty ironic that the Big Ten said, "Fine, you need 5 games to qualify." Ohio State didn't have them, and then they changed the rules so Ohio State could go to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Basically, long story short is if you're a premier team in that league, you can pretty much write the rules how you see fit in your benefit.
Yeah.
Saw that with Ohio State in the Big Ten. The SEC is the only league where I see there's enough oversight to have like real change implemented. But will we see that on a larger scale? I don't know. I think the SEC knows that with their commissioner. That's why they're trying to expand. Go get Texas and Oklahoma. Try to go get Clemson and, maybe North Carolina or Clemson and Notre Dame. Build your league with these premier teams who are names and legacies. That way you can pretty much control who's going to be in the top 25. And I think once we get into the top 25, now you can start setting a league that the College Football Playoff Committee can gauge from 1 to 25. Then maybe some implementation can be offered so that they can expand the league.
Yeah.
True that, Carla Johnson. They can't hang. Nobody can hang with the SEC.
So it being our college football segment and all that, we didn't hear too much from you about the complaints that were being expressed from the transfer portal and people transferring over to the what is it called, the HBCUs?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't hear too much thoughts on the show about all of that going on because there were some complaints going around.
Complaints?
Yeah.
Who was complaining?
That there were. I saw on social media.
Oh, okay.
That there were.
I thought like the fans were complaining to us.
Yeah, no. Just about them snagging up, I guess, all the good talent and whatnot.
So this past recruiting season, this recruiting cycle, the early signing recruiting cycle, Deion Sanders and Jackson State were able to garner the number 1, arguably number 2 best defensive back in the nation, which caused a little bit of waves in the Power 5 rankings because that young man was going to go to Florida State before he was flipped to Jackson State due to the success that they're having under Coach Sanders. But as far as the transfer portal, I don't think anybody should have any sorts of complaints. You may, as a fan, be uncomfortable or hesitant that your star player is like leaving for another university, but what's the problem with that? We have coaches like Lincoln Riley who would just get up and leave when a new school offers him a big contract. Same thing like Notre Dame with Brian Kelly. Or if you're a team like LSU where you and your coach mutually agree to separate and part ways, it's not fair to those players who are currently at that university who committed to the school, but additionally committed to that head coach. We're seeing that right now play out with Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley's out to USC. Spencer Rattler started out the year as a Heisman candidate, then got benched for Caleb Williams. Spencer Rattler enters the transfer portal right around the same time Lincoln Riley leaves. Just yesterday, Caleb Williams, after winning the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio over Oregon, puts in his notice that he's entering the transfer portal as well. So if you're upset that your star players are leaving, take it up with the university. These are the rules. This is what has been set forth by the governing bodies. And if you don't like it, figure out a way to keep them. Because right now it's an arms race. It's the wild, wild west with name, image, likeness. Head coaches are getting offered stupid money to go be head coaches at these universities. And their kids are getting paid millions of dollars if you're a premier star athlete to go play. Quinn Ewers did not play his senior year in high school because he had $1 million offer at Ohio State. Decides to transfer out of Ohio State. Two universities had the potential to garner Quinn Ewers' skill set. And I'm not saying the universities offered him the money, but somebody close to the university, donors, nonprofits, businesses, somebody like that around the university said, Quinn, we got you $4 million. And he said, 2 schools offered me the same. When I say schools, I mean their associates. 2 people on behalf of the university said, we'll pay you $4 million. And that was Texas Tech and Texas. Quinn Ewers said, I'd rather live in Austin than Lubbock. So he came back to Texas. It's a new age, and it's the wild, wild west because there's not a lot of rules for name, image, likeness. And so you need to figure out a way to raise money or have businesses have funds on standby to garner the services of elite athletes in college.
Do you like it that way? The new age, the wild, wild west?
I'm never against anybody making money legally. I'm just not. Now, this has been going on for years, decades before under the table.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you're an LSU player, OBJ just did it right out in front of everybody whenever they won the national championship. But the point of the matter is that it's been happening. Now it can just happen on a larger scale. Before it was probably a couple of thousand per game. And if you're a big star athlete, it was probably a few tens of thousands per game.
Yeah.
And now if you're an elite athlete, it's millions per year.
I feel like, honestly, like I feel like because there are players that they're profitable in the NCAA while they're in college, but not necessarily they don't transfer over to the NFL, to make, millions, like superstar players do. So I feel like they should be able to make the money that they do make in college, get that money in the 4 years that they're allowed to,
right,
and then move on with their lives. And as long as, whatever they choose to do with that money, well, then that's up to them. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of times what people are kind of missing are they're like, oh, these kids are greedy. These kids are that. Well, a lot of these kids are subsidizing other players at their position. Like Quinn Ewers may be a big-time quarterback, but the quarterbacks who are walk-ons and maybe who are underneath him, he may be throwing them a few, 100,000 because he knows they don't have anything. Well, what are those considered? Those are considered deductions. So if he can get this money, give away some money to his fellow teammates as a deduction, it's a win-win for everybody. We got to play the game. And we got to be financially literate so that we can play the game to help everybody and ourselves at the same time. Now, it doesn't hurt that another nonprofit in Texas at the University of Texas, associated with the University of Texas, I got to be careful what I say, associated with the University of Texas, decided to say, hey, we'll have $150,000 available to every offensive lineman at the University of Texas. So you ask yourself, where is this money coming from? There's a lot of wealthy people at these universities. Yeah. And it's an arms race. It's part of it is recruiting, but part of it is what amenities, what benefits are associated with me committing to your university. Yeah. And the parents want to know and the athletes want to know.
Well, so let me ask you this. Is it like the situation that we saw with Texas Song, what is it called?
The Eyes of Texas.
Eyes of Texas. Mm-hmm. Is it like that where we saw the power of the donors, that, didn't want the song to go away, mm-hmm, as opposed to the woke culture nowadays that was opposed to the song now? You know what I mean? Is it sort of like that? Like we see the power of the people that hold the money at the University of Texas that don't necessarily, coach or play, but just, put up the money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say no. I don't think it's the same thing because if it's popular, it'll change. If it's not popular, it won't change. And that's easy to say because I can say, well, what's popular? Well, if you want to break it down to its fundamental part, you can say, well, do you have 51% who agree with one side? If you do, then you're going to say, well, that's the majority because that's the most popular side. But I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. In this instance, with the Eyes of Texas, to get a little bit on a tangent, I think there was enough alumni and there were enough donors. Now, I'm not saying all the alumni were donors, and I'm not saying all the donors were alumni. What I'm saying is there was enough combination of the two to not make a change at the song. Now, does that song have roots into times of slavery? Yes, it does, because of where the song originated from. But the former student bodies, the alumni, and probably some of the students on the campus and the donors said, we're not going to make a change because that's a part of our history. Just because it's a part of your history doesn't mean it needs to be erased. But I'm not saying at the same time it's right or wrong, because that's not my call. I didn't go to school there, and I don't have any affiliation with the University of Texas. That's for someone else to decide. But at the same time, our history, we can't go erasing our history either. Because if we don't remember our history, we're going to repeat our history. And that's a proven fact. Just look up world history for the past 200, 300 years. It will repeat itself. And just a quick note, the history that we had in this country for 400 years is currently going on in another country. And nobody wants to talk about it. But I'm going to leave it right there. And if you don't know, read a book. Google it. All right.
All right, Paul, next question for you. What country were you referring to? I'm just kidding, man. That's why I asked you a good question, man.
The 45th president says it very well in many of his oration. If you don't know, read a book, do a Google search.
We got a lot of people.
Don't say it.
We got a lot of people that don't know history.
Yeah,
they need to read a book. I walked in here and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people that haven't read it.
I thought you were going to say the country. I was like, no, don't say the country. But yeah, anyways, it is what it is. And it sucks sometimes stuff crosses over. That's why I don't like to spend a lot of time on it, but it crosses over. Long story short, NIL is here to stay.
And it's only going to get bigger, I feel like.
And one thing I wanted to conclude with was that, as far as the college football topic was, whenever I hear people talking negatively about name, image, likeness, I always bring back the point. It's like, how are you going to take away that opportunity to a student athlete? I don't care what he looks like, but how are you going to take away from a student athlete? And I don't care what gender they are. How are you going to take away from a student athlete the ability to help a single parent at home who may have multiple siblings at home? An avenue, you're taking away an avenue for them to assist their parent to put potentially food on the table.
Yeah, for sure.
Gas in the car, medicine in the cabinet, milk in the fridge, rent for next month. How are you going to take that away from them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Paul, not only to that, and you know much more to this than I do, but just off the top looking at it, someone is making money off of that.
There's a lot of people making
money off of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the athlete itself that is making all that highlight reels, clips, viewership, sponsorship, and they're not getting none of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just wrong to me. You know,
it's indentured servitude.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on. Break them off.
And the thing about it, you're not breaking them off. They've earned it.
Yeah, for sure.
They've earned this. They've earned this compensation.
The majority of the money should go to them. To be honest with you.
I think what is fair is for them. The reason I say it this way is the reason I say it's fair for name, image, likeness is because you cannot legislate how many funds go to this university or that university, because they don't have the same equality of outcome. The universities don't, because you're going to have a university who's powerful and popular like Texas, but they may not have the same success as a team like Baylor. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Baylor had more success, Big 12 champion. Baylor beat an SEC team in the Sugar Bowl Saturday night. Now it's going to do great things for them in recruiting, and it's going to do great things for them as far as brand recognition, but they will never compete revenue-wise with the University of Texas. Therefore, the equality of outcome should not be the same for Texas because Texas didn't produce the same way as Baylor. You see what I'm saying with that?
I do.
But in the Big 12, when they were there, the equality of outcome did matter because Texas was going to make more money due to their brand recognition. So even if they shit the bed going 7-7 or 6-6 as an example, they're going to make more money over Baylor because they're Texas in name only. So the equality of outcome should have a bearing on how funds are allocated. All right, we'll get off the bag top. 9:11 after the first hour, 11 minutes after the first hour. Let's get into a break. I think we'll have our special guest joining us when we come back. Appreciate y'all watching. That's what she said. Yes, it is, Carly Johnson. That is what she said. We'll be back. doesn't James owe Pep have to pay a debt?
Oh yeah, what y'all had a bet, didn't y'all?
No, you and James had a bet. If James lost, he'd have to eat a dub like James Winston.
Let's go. That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W.
I'm not doing that.
Yes, you are. So I have a proposition. This is between Wes and James. If the Green Bay Packers win, Wes, you got to eat crab legs on the show. If the Saints win, James has to eat dubs on the show.
Bet.
He didn't even hesitate. Producer James. Was he on camera, Wes? I couldn't see.
Yeah, he was.
Well, based off of his reaction, based off of Wes' reaction, hey man, that's a paid in full. He even snarled in there and everything. That's he ate it with the gusto. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, that man in the chandelier lifestyle, Mr. Wes Washington, is in the building. Wes, how you living, sir? Happy New Year to you. How was your New Year's?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I'm fantastic. I know you sound a little gun shy right now. Don't be getting all in them feels about these boys now. I need you to come with it. Talk to me now. What happened in Dallas? Because if it isn't what I said it was, I don't know what it could be. Talk to me now.
I mean, it is what it is. You know, Dallas, they didn't come to play. You know, they're playing a team that needed to win, that wanted to win more than they did, and Dallas did not show up. I mean, it's plain and simple. So, you know, if Dallas wants to go, if they want to go deep in the playoffs, then they have to act like they want to, and they have to clean up the flags. They got to clean up the turnovers, and they got to play better football. It's plain and simple. You know, you're not playing the NFC East.
Least.
Yeah. So, you know, you can't depend on the other team to play horrible.
The NFC East, the most overrated division in all of football?
No, that's the AFC North. That's the most overrated
You
division.
think so?
Yeah, look at all these pretenders. Ravens are hurt. Cincinnati is winning the division. Pittsburgh has got a geriatric for a quarterback. And Cleveland's worse. Baker Mayfield is worse than Dak Prescott.
Okay. But Wes, let me ask you. How in the blue hell do the Philadelphia Eagles make it into the fucking playoffs, Wes? How, Sway?
That's not on me.
That's on the boys.
It's not the Cowboys' fault.
Yes, it is.
How?
Dallas lost, so they got in.
Well, I mean, that's not all on Dallas. I mean, when
It's
they
on the
played
refs.
the Eagles, they beat them. So I mean, that's.
Hey man, I've come to the realization, and it only took 17 weeks. So this is me being Captain Obvious. Dallas is not a contender. Surprise, surprise.
Hey,
Dallas
hold
is.
on,
Go
Paul.
ahead.
Wes called them Super Bowl bound last week.
Dallas
Are you going against that?
fooled everybody last week. Dallas fooled everybody,
Including Wes?
Everybody. People who get paid millions of dollars to talk about this, not like us. People who get paid millions of dollars, they fooled them too. So what I've come to the understanding is, before we get too far, Wes, did you get a pump in? Were you pumping some iron? You looking all like jacked over there, man. What do you got that slim? You got that slim fit tee on or what?
It's just it's just I got a t-shirt on. Usually I can't see the t-shirt. You know?
What's that shirt? What's that shirt you're wearing?
Trying to show off the guns.
Who you sponsored by?
He's talking about, you don't know who Shonuff is?
Shonuff, pimpin'.
You don't know who Shonuff is?
I do.
You don't know about Shonuff, James, do you?
Nah, he knows. That's why he asked. That's why he asked.
Oh, okay.
He knows. But listen, this is what it is. This is what it is. Dallas is no longer a contender, Mize. They are the team that will put you in a trap. They will snake bite you if you give them the opportunity. They are a team that will surprise you with the victory and then leave you asking questions the week next. So for me, they're only a dangerous team to somebody like Green Bay, somebody like Tampa, who has a real shot, who are real contenders. That's who Dallas should scare. Other than that, Dallas ain't going to scare anybody because Dallas will play down to whoever they play and they'll play up to whoever they compete against. And that's all there is to it. And Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy, Zerline and McCarthy fucked it up again.
You've had it out for them. You fucking.
I've been wanting to fire Zerline since week 1. And I've been telling y'all since week 3, Mike McCarthy is going to cause an L if there's a tight game. Well, God damn it, here it is.
You've had it out for both of them since week 1.
They suck.
I mean, it's just fitting that he misses a chip shot field goal. And how much should we lose by?
3 points. Why did Mike McCarthy not have a timeout to challenge a play at the end of the game? Because he sucks at managing the clock. How you going to pull all your timeouts before 2 minutes?
And hey, don't forget about Kellen Moore. He deserves some of this blame too. So.
Kellen Moore does not want to run the damn football at all. He wants to run the football 1 out of the first 5 series. Stink.
And some of his plays are just too fancy. I feel like Bud Kilmer in Varsity Blues. Oop-de-doos, oop-de-doo.
They getting too cute. They getting too cute out there for sure, 100%. I was gonna rag on the Cowboys today because I'll give them all the glory when they win. But Jerry Jones, you suck at hiring coaches, and you suck even more by not cutting players as a general manager. No, that's all I gotta say.
You know what I was saying? Like, let me say something for you guys, okay? And let me just say something.
You know what, James?
No, Wes.
He had his time. He had his time at Green Bay.
Wes, let me just have my little time real quick, okay, Wes? Like, I was thinking about this because I was thinking about my.
Don't you get too mouthy, Crosby.
Me being a fan.
Don't you get too mouthy
of Green Bay, and we're going on. This year will be our 3rd NFC Championship. Hopefully propelling us.
You better not speak too soon.
3rd time's a charm. Hey, Wes spoke too soon.
And what happened? Thank you very much.
Future, we'll see where future leads us. But how much does it feel? You know what I'm saying? To like, you're like, Dak's a guy. They pay him all this money and stuff. And honestly, I feel sorry for you guys, man. Because, like, I don't think Dak has it. I think Dak is soft. And I think that Jerry Jones don't know what the hell he has going on. So I feel sympathy for you guys.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I got it.
And I'm like, what has to change in this franchise? Because I don't like picking on the Dallas Cowboys. I just call it how I see it.
You know what has to happen for this franchise? And I've said this before on other shows, and it's a sad thing that I have to say. But Jerry has to no longer be with us in order for things to change.
You want me to cue the funeral music?
Wes, you know damn well I'm right.
James, you just on cloud 9 right now, dude. You just feel like that y'all know everything because you look good so right now. But if Aaron Rodgers, somebody step on Aaron Rodgers' toe a little bit too hard, all that's going down the drain, buddy. So you better just
he ain't lying.
Every day,
he ain't lying.
Every day, every night, you better wake up, go to sleep praying that nobody step on Aaron Rodgers' toe.
Hey, man, is this on 1 or 2 or 3 weeks rest? That toe.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. I mean, if he ain't on the field, you can't step on his toe. Huh?
Walter. No, I think Aaron's going to get 2 weeks off this week and next week, the first round bye. He won't play week 18. So if y'all lose it to the Lions, thank Jordan Love. Man, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign if they lose.
Bad sign for who?
For Green Bay, because if Aaron Rodgers gets knocked out of a game, kiss it goodbye.
All right.
Oh,
yeah, you quiet now.
You better hope that Aaron Rodgers wins it this year too. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't win it this year, he ain't coming back.
I don't know about that.
I don't even know if he wins it this year. I don't even know if he's coming back.
You know what I'm saying? My sources say that Aaron's coming back.
Hey, but even if he does, don't you think? Like, I mean, how old is he, Paul?
38.
38 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay, you win a Super Bowl, right? And then who's to say that you're coming back? What if you're like, man, fuck it, dude. I'm gonna ride off into the fucking sunset. I'm not catching Tom Brady
without the number one receiver, without a young RB2, without a young RB1, without the best left tackle in the game.
Yeah. Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Or does he go for a two-peat?
But what about a three-peat?
Three-peat in football doesn't happen unless you're Tom Brady.
It doesn't have, I don't think it's happened for him.
Yeah.
He hasn't even got a three-peat.
Yeah. It just doesn't happen.
Wes, are you surprised or are you let down with the Cowboys' loss against Arizona?
Come on, let's hear it. Let's fucking hear it, bro.
I wasn't really surprised that they lost. I think Arizona's a good team. You know, I know everybody's like, oh, well, Arizona was down, but I think Arizona was a good team, and I wasn't surprised that Arizona beat them. I actually earlier down the line, even when Dallas was hot, I was counting the Arizona game as a loss. So, I mean, it's not over for the Cowboys.
Have you no faith? Have you no faith?
Whatever. They lost by 3, but it's not over.
Have you no faith?
They're still in the playoffs. They still got to play the game. So, I mean, they still have a chance to win. It's not over. If they clean up the turnovers, they clean up the flags, they have a good team. So they still have a chance to win.
They only have a good team when all of their stars play like stars. And last night it was like one star waiting for another star to take off so that they could all go. Nobody is out there making a play as a superstar without pretty much Dak going first. And the other, listen, Sunday afternoon's game, Dak Prescott had more tip balls than a 5'9" quarterback, and Dak's 6'2". How did Dak have more balls deflected at the line of scrimmage than a 5'9" quarterback? That tells me two things. Number one, they're not running the damn football. And number two, they understand Dak Prescott's tendencies. They're like, why rush? We'll just stay right here and jump in the passing lane because we know they're a highly time dependent team. Their routes are timing routes. And if they're not playing at a fast tempo, you can play zone and get in the way of their balls to deflect them. And it's sad that someone who never played college football, someone who never played professional football can identify that. But it seems to me like Kellen Moore, who played college football, who played in the NFL, doesn't seem to understand those tendencies.
Kellen Moore is trying to play for another job. That's basically what he's trying to do.
Well, then he needs to pack his shit and get on.
So show all this fancy stuff, look what I can do, and try to get him a head coaching job. But my thing is, if I'm a head coach and you don't know when to run the ball and when not to do these ugly ass plays, then I don't want you as my head coach.
Yeah, and it was also pretty sad that Michael Gallup, who had the only production of the day, tears his ACL on a touchdown pass.
I knew it too. I knew it.
He tore it before he even caught the ball.
Yeah.
I knew it. I tell my girl time and time again, I know these kind of injuries. Yeah. I know what they look like. Yeah. And I knew it wasn't good. And unfortunate. I never wish for an injury like this upon anybody, whether it be a Dallas Cowboys fan, whether it be Chicago Bear, Minnesota Viking, whatever, Detroit Lions. And I told him I had to check my son because we were playing the Vikings. I think it was the last time that they beat us, and somebody got hurt, and he was like, "Yeah, he's out." And I was like, "Dude, we don't do that.
Yeah, and you know, I had set them straight.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, you don't ever cheer for a person to get hurt,
Right.
or you don't ever congratulate for a person to get hurt, because as a team, we want to play a team that is
Fully healthy.
Yeah. And we don't want to, like, you know, be like, yay, we beat a person without Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We'll take it. We secured the number 1 seed, you know, but I mean, it is what it is, you know.
It was definitely like a tough look to kind of get that, you know, to watch it, number one, but being the being the professional he is, he did still maintain possession of the ball like through the duration of the catch. So you
It's
got to
a
give props
thin
to
line
him.
of
Scored a
in
touchdown.
football, because you want to inflict pain. You want to go out there and, you know, be tough, inflict pain, but yet and still you don't want anybody to get hurt. It's a real thin line.
100%. Let's get into a quick break. When we'll come back, we'll wrap the show. Wes, any parting thoughts on the Cowboys? What is your you still have faith, right? You still believe they can make a run?
I still have faith that they're going to win the first round game. And I still have faith in the second round game that they will be competitive. It's just about if they can clean up the penalties, clean up the turnovers, and play a great game to move on. They have talent all over the field to compete with anybody in the NFC.
Carla said Dallas can't beat anybody in the playoffs.
Carla, the Bears aren't even making it to the playoffs. Why are you even talking?
On that note, we'll be back after this
If
break.
the team is not in the playoffs, then don't add anything.
But when we come back, we got to have our weekly meme segment.
Oh, that's right, the weekly
sir.
memes. So we waited for you, Wes. We'll get back to that. Those are going to be hilarious. Wait till y'all see what we found. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Producer James in the building, breathing harder than I am right now into the mic. These two boys riled up. Just I think producer James had something to say about Wes Washington and AB. They had something in common.
Yeah. He better hope. Wes Washington, I'm talking to you, Wes.
Here goes the promo.
Hey, he better hope that the Cowboys don't make it to the NFC Championship or the next round, for that matter, because I am feeling hyped up, and I haven't felt hyped up like this in years. All right, in a year.
I'm a Paul.
In a year.
Gee, leaning off that drink.
All right, and now, Wes, you are going to lead us into our next segment, which is called
Show and tell. There we go.
Show and tell.
Let's start off, first of all, with Paul's meme.
Yeah. This is a hell of a meme. Actually, AB is kind of leading all the memes right now, but this was a meme that kind of stuck out to me as soon as he kind of did his little nonsense. It's obviously a photo of, or it's a meme of, what's that show called? Like, Practical Jokers. He's like,
this is the funniest thing they've done.
Hey, AB, now take off your shoulder pads and shirt and walk off the field. And of course, he like does it as it's edited, and then they just like crack up like nobody believed he would actually do this nonsense. AB, we're still talking about you, even though you just pretty much walked your way out of the NFL.
Yeah.
What a goof.
Yeah.
He's done, right, Wes? He's done.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Yeah,
I mean, there's one thing to be upset about what's going on and the way you respond. The way you respond, if you feel like you're not getting enough catches because you feel like they don't want to pay you your extra stuff,
yeah.
You know what? You handle that in the locker room after the game. You don't take off your shoulder pads and throw your stuff in the
crowd
air and, peace out the crowd. I mean, come on. Be for real.
Yeah.
Now, if he got ejected, that's a different story. But you just gonna quit on the team?
Well, Bruce Arians rejected him. He said, "Take your ass over here. If you don't like it, go inside."
But hey, what does that say about the GOAT, though? What does that say about Tom Brady?
He got poor decision making, poor judgment.
You know what? I ain't got time for that. I gotta go win a football game.
Let me ask you guys. Does Antonio Brown feel like any sort of shit? They went on to win the game.
What do you mean?
They went on to win the game.
Right, but what do you mean? Does he feel anything?
When he walked off the field, they were losing.
Yeah. So I don't understand.
Think he thought that he was hurting them, and they just like, we don't need you, bro.
But did y'all see? Did y'all see Tom Brady's meme?
Nah.
He had posted a meme, and it was like.
I thought you were gonna say he pulled up. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
I done came down, put up. So it was Tom Brady's. So it was the Bucks, like chances of winning, and then the Jets' chances of winning, and the Jets' chances of winning were pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Tom Brady, like it was literally at the end, it just like spoke up, and then he tweeted it, and it said "to the moon." You know how he's all into crypto and all that shit,
right?
Yeah, so he's playing on it, getting what he can off.
He's still plus 500 in the MVP race.
Yeah, for sure.
He ain't minus 150.
We know who the real MVP is.
Oh man, I'm not doing that I'm not doing that for Aaron Rodgers.
Let's go back to show and tell.
It's the other way because you're in reverse.
Next up, we got James's meme. What's up, James?
What's up, man?
Show your meme.
My meme?
Take away your light.
Okay, let's take away my meme. My meme is.
I thought you said mommy.
Dak is already practicing that postseason letdown face. Now look at this man. Look at this man right here.
He did have that letdown face in the press conference. I will say that,
bruh.
Do we need to get him in touch with Propecia? Not Propecia, with Just for Men's.
We need to get him in touch with David Goggins. That's who we need to get him in touch with.
Why do you say that?
Bro, the guy is defeated. He is defeated.
Yeah.
How you supposed to look when you're down?
Tom Brady throws tablets.
Yeah, he breaks tablets. Don't act like Aaron Rodgers is joy of sunshine when he's down.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers does roll his eyes when his receivers don't catch the ball.
Hey, look at him, dude.
Look at who.
Aaron Rodgers has that face when he's winning.
That's true. That's very true.
Look at this guy.
He's in disbelief in that photo. He's like, he can't believe it.
Well, anyways, he's already practicing the postseason letdown face.
Yeah, he was talking big noise at the press conference afterwards, post game. He's like, "We'll play him anywhere. We'll play him here. We'll play him at their field. Doesn't matter." It's like, dude, you don't want to play anybody on the road.
Yeah. All right, Paul, you ready?
Well, it's West next.
It's and now let's put up mine.
Oof. All that money and that man got that unibrow.
Well, that's his trademark. He can't get rid of the unibrow. This is more about him just being Anthony Street Clothes Davis. And the dude can't stay on the court, man. It's just crazy how much talent this dude has and how good he is when he's on the court, but he can't stay on the court.
All I heard was you called him soft.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. I to the late great Kobe, man. I could only imagine what Kobe would say to this dude.
Rolling over.
Kobe just lighting up.
Rolling over.
You think Kobe would have some choice words for Davis?
Yeah.
More than choice.
What did he tell? What's the dude? The big dude. I think he's on the Lakers now. Why am I drawing a blank? He played for the Magic.
Dwight Howard?
Dwight Howard, yeah. He told Dwight Howard, man, you soft, man. You soft. You a pussy. Like
Wes!
Sorry. I can't help it, my man. But I'm just saying that's what Kobe would say to him.
I don't doubt that at all, but it's
I was saying he was a cat.
Yeah, you're right. I believe you. I just don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. Is it just because the players in the NBA have so much power now that they can kind of do what they want? It's almost like they have autonomy. They can do what they want when they want, and nobody's going to say anything.
That looks like Sinbad.
I know. The hairline, I know.
AKA pussy.
God damn it, man. Y'all just feeling like you just do whatever y'all want now. God, I can't take y'all nowhere. I apologize for Wes and James's foul mouth attitudes on this show. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not, but it's funny.
I can't help it. James likes cats.
So where was that? What Sinbad was that from?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen Sinbad stand up?
Stand up?
Sinbad stand up.
No, but I've seen Sinbad in Jingle All the Way.
Sinbad?
Come on, man.
Oh yeah, Sinbad.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Bro.
Wow.
Hey man, you ain't got no room to talk, Wes. You ain't got no room to talk.
I ain't said nothing.
You said wow.
I know I said wow. I'm just trying to get
Trying
it
to be
together.
like Post Malone.
Try to make it through. But
Not like AB.
all I'm saying is today's players, it's a different era. They don't have that, where they want to go out and beat people, where they want to go out and play all the games, and where they want to go out to go to different places and they want to show up for their fans. It's more of a business now. It's more of a you're not a player anymore. You're a business.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to sit down shop, to keep the business afloat, I guess is what
Payday. You want payday.
Hey, what is Carla in the comments? What is, and there goes Amazon. What does that mean?
Hey, Wes, who did the Cowboys lose in the playoffs? Who did they lose to?
I don't know. I would have to see the floor map first. I don't know how it's set up.
So the wild card is going to have Dallas paired up with probably
I fucking hope
probably
they lose
Arizona.
To the Eagles.
It's probably going to be Arizona, or it could be the Philly. It could be one of those teams.
Yeah, I think Cowboys need to go ahead and beat Philly.
I fucking hope they lose to the Eagles, or I hope they lose to Arizona.
Those are the two teams I just mentioned. You just hope they lose the first round.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. If Dallas has to go play the Packers, you better worry. And I'm not saying
Why?
because that team is dangerous to the Packers.
This guy.
No. They're dangerous because they have nothing to lose, and the Packers have everything to gain. And that's the problem, is that it's Super Bowl or bust for the Packers. Dallas, they're just going to be happy to be there.
Yes. Why isn't it? Why isn't
Because
it?
they've lost 2 years in a row
Why
in the
isn't it
NFC
Super Bowl
Championship.
or bust for the Cowboys?
Because the Dallas hasn't been to a playoff game in like 6 years.
Okay, I'm just asking.
But the Packers have been to the NFC Championship game and lost 2 years in a row.
So we're a prestige.
I wouldn't say
You're
Franchise.
prestigious at losing in the
We're a
NFC Championship.
prestige franchise.
You're a prestigious franchise that loses in the NFC Championship game.
We're third times.
You can't have it both ways.
We're third times the charm.
Third times.
Third time's the charm.
You better hope it is.
Hey, what has Dallas made it 3 times to a fucking NFC Championship?
They made it 3 times to a Super Bowl in the last 25 years. Has Green Bay done that? Has Green Bay done that?
Bro, we won 2011.
You've won 1 championship in 10 years.
Okay,
Great.
14. In how many years?
Since 1940 something.
Okay.
Dallas didn't exist until 1960.
That's a sad shame. Until who? Jerry Jones came about? Fucking Crypt Keeper.
Tex Schramm,
Crypt Creeper
Tom
motherfucker.
Landry. You better do your history, son, if you want to get in this conversation.
I have no respect for Dallas. I'll tell you that right now.
That's okay.
Oh man.
That's okay. You lucky the Ice Bowl went the way it went. You lucky that field falls over.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky that Bart Starr fucking
Slipped and slid and slide into the end zone. Yes,
this motherfucker.
that's
dude.
the facts. Why are you kicking the table?
Super Bowl 1, bro. Super Bowl 1.
Are you from Green Bay? How are you even a Packers fan as well?
Are you from Dallas,
you-
motherfucker? Are you from Dallas?
I'm from Texas.
You are? You were born in Dallas. You were born in Dallas.
I was born in
I'm gonna have
Texas.
to,
You were born in Dallas.
I'm gonna have to
My
cut
dad
this
was a
off.
Cowboy
You were
fan.
born in Dallas.
I was born in Texas.
He won't answer the question.
I just
he
answered
just
the
did.
question. I was born in Texas.
You were born in Texas. Were you born in Dallas?
But everybody.
It's a
that was
yes
born
or
in
no
Texas is a
question.
Cowboy fan.
It's a yes or no question.
Huh? No,
I'm gonna take it as
but
no.
I'm asking
Okay,
you, are you from Green Bay? That's what I'm
Yeah,
asking.
yeah, it's a no. Just the same as you were not born in Dallas.
But I was born in Texas. Everybody in Texas was a Cowboy
Okay,
fan when I was
I'll answer this as I answer
I'm just
every
asking-
question.
Nobody's
How-
asking you a
how Green
question.
Bay fan?
Okay.
That's my question.
How boring would it be if everybody were fans of where they were born? Okay, I
So you
talked
just
to
picked the
you.
Green Bay Packers because they were winning.
Fucking let me. What the fuck? Let me talk, dude.
You are talking. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah, but he's over here fucking interrupting.
That's a
me.
part of the show. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How boring would it be if everybody were fans of their own fucking state? We've all seen basketball, have we not?
Yes.
No. Okay. Let's go on. Come on,
I want to know
man.
how you became a Packer fan.
You want to hear the history?
Yeah.
Okay. I watched the
Why I asked the
96.
question.
I watched the 96 Super Bowl.
Yep.
Okay. I was 7, 8 years old. Okay. And I was like, oh, I saw this team win the Super Bowl. And I was like, oh, I saw this team win the Super Bowl. They're good. I like them. I waited 14 fucking years to watch them win another Super Bowl. Okay? 14 fucking years, dude. I was a fucking fan. I watched the torch pass from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. Some might laugh. I don't give a fuck, dude. Cheesehead. Drill me in cheese.
Cheese is good.
Yes, it is good. I dream of the day I get to fucking go to Lambeau fucking Field, dude.
Yeah.
It is football to me. If I wasn't a fan of the Green Bay fucking Packers, I wouldn't fucking love football. Okay? And I pass this down to my son.
Yeah.
You can laugh, whatever.
I'm laughing at your explanation.
Okay. But laugh at my son. My son loves the fucking
Why?
Green Bay
Why you gotta
Packers.
do that? Well, they be laughing at your son. Ain't got nothing to do with it.
Okay?
Take him off mute. Thank you.
Okay, so
No, this is good.
We love the Green Bay Packers,
There's
man.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it is. And anything you guys say to me, like, oh, Des caught it, whatever. Dude, I fucking grew up. One of my cousins, Joey Mercado, shout out to him. Dude, he's one of the most diehard Cowboys fans that I met. I grew up in Cowboys County, okay? My mom, she fucking quilted me with the fucking Packers.
So you've been cheering them since birth then?
I've been cheering them since birth. And nothing's going to change that, dude. Now, my family, I
been
go
fighting
in there.
them too?
Huh?
You been fighting them too?
Oh, yeah. Since I was
I wouldn't say
fucking,
he's been cheering since birth.
Since I was
he started
zero.
Win a Super Bowl.
No, you don't know. Hey, get the fuck out of here, bro.
You just told me that. You literally just said it. You said you saw him play in the 96 Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl, and you became a fan. Was that not your story?
Yeah, 96.
Yes. Were you born in 96? I don't know how.
I was born in fucking 89, bro. 96.
Right, so
7 years old.
You said
Hey,
since birth.
you're going to pick on the 7-year-old me?
Yeah. I'll pick on anybody.
This guy. I knew you would. That's why I got my fucking... That's why I got my...
You got what?
Braun Strowman.
Oh, yeah, Braun Strowman. You saw him at the market.
He wants to talk to you. Picking on me.
All right.
All right. We good?
No, we're not good.
Oh, is the story good or not good?
So I've been these last few seasons, man, like I've been through heartache. Seattle Seahawks. We thought we had the game in the bag to the Super Bowl. We didn't. It was such a heartbreak, dude. It was I was pissed off, dude. And so all I've ever wanted, man, and I felt like it would be nice to just share a Super Bowl with my son.
It's coming. It's definitely coming.
I don't know, Paul. But I will say that that this year, it's strong. You know what I'm saying?
They look good.
And my son, he's like, Dad, what if we don't win the Super Bowl and all this shit? Because he's a kid, man.
Right, he's a kid.
And I appreciate all that shit. So I'm like, dude, we just gotta figure out what goes on, and we gotta roll with the punches, man. So go Pack, go.
Yeah, everybody wants to fuck the Cowboys.
Dallas, dude.
All right, we're back at it. I appreciate all that, Wes. It's been a fun time. Wow, I don't know. Wes, your face is talking. Before we get out of here, Wes, you want to leave the people with anything?
Oh, nothing, man. I just wish James and his Packers the best, but
you gonna go get a little kid?
Boy, you ain't no kid no more. You a grown ass man.
Just man, just everybody, check on your family. I know everybody's catching everything right now.
That's true.
People
Hey,
don't know they got
I love you guys.
allergies or the COVID or whatever. I mean, what can't you catch right now? So just check on your family, check on everybody, and just love everybody. I love you, James.
All right, guys. Hey, let's shout out to everybody in the comments. Shout out to Carla. She was heavy in there today. Mingo and Lucky. Lucky coming in late. Appreciate y'all watching tonight. As far as your favorite team, talk about them in the comments. We need to talk. We talked about the Titans a little bit. For those who are watching, we'll see y'all when we come back tomorrow. May have a big announcement coming. And until then, appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for being in the comments. James was on his bag tonight, baby. Love it, man. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, guys, for watching.